Good morning, good evening, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you might be doing. We wish to welcome you to the Silverlight Show. The Silverlight shines to illuminate that which lies hidden in darkness. This is a special edition of the Silverlight Show. One of the things I always preach is self-sufficiency as much as possible. I'm going to show you today that it's very possible with not very much room. As you can see, in my area, things are fairly close together. Not big backyards, it's bigger than it appears to be. My shed out there blocks a lot of it, but you can see the other house back there is not very far away. So I'm not dealing with a whole lot. The same token, I took inspiration from the Soviet-era kitchen gardens. So I have a nice light area here, and right below it, I have some lovely plants. I have a rose that's not doing very well, a money plant. Those are just for decoration. But here I have some lovely rosemary used for flavoring soups. We have some eggplant, which will be going out into the garden. It's sitting in here because it still gets fairly cold at night. And these are just peppers. Again, they'll be going outside when the time comes, but the rosemary will be here all year round, so that we always have it for flavoring soups, doing whatever we need to do. And it's literally that simple. This is about a $10 setup, and we're going to get more herbs in here, and this will become a nice little growing area. This is just the size of a single desk, nothing important about it at all. But imagine if I take the rose outside like I intend to, I move the money plant, how many herbs I could have here. You could probably do tomatoes as well. The roof you could always hang things from, tomato plants for example. But this is not very much space. The window is not very big. So this is how simple it is to start becoming self-sufficient. I'm going to move into my kitchen. We'll continue from there. Now the kitchen. I don't have a gigantic kitchen here. Stove, sink, nice little toaster oven, some spring rolls my significant other made. To be honest, right now, I'm making 2 meals. First of all, I spared you the details of cutting up the shrimp, but I have the shrimp marinating and a nice little maple syrup, coconut, and chili broth. That's just to give them a little bit of flavor. But whereas most people would take the shrimp and leave it there, I took it another step further. One thing you can always make is soup. Now this is actually going to become a broth, and where the broth comes from is very simply right here. You can see the shrimp heads, the tails and stuff that I peeled off of it, and I'm just boiling that slowly. I threw some fresh onions in that I grew earlier, as you can see there. That's just the shrimp head and the skin of the shrimp that everybody peels off and throws away. A little bit of onion, a little bit of salt. Nothing in here is expensive. But I'm going to put some rice in there. The rice is going to pick up all this flavor, pick up all this color, and become either something I can serve with the rice, or we can always freeze it and put it up for tomorrow, or the next day, or the next day. One ingredient becomes 3 things. The shrimp that I'm going to stir fry, I'm probably going to put something else with them. The rice, which is still relatively cheap and can be added to either thicken the broth up, or it can be used on its own, and you can make this as a soup. I'm going to get rid of all the solid parts once the flavor has come out of it, and then you're going to wind up with a beautiful broth that you can either drink straight, or like I said, use it to flavor other things. Now, as far as your pantry goes, this is not the healthiest thing in the world, but just little things. Horseradish doesn't count. Canned tomatoes. Very cheap. I buy the crushed. You don't have to. I do because it just saves me the effort of cooking it down. Stuff you have for later. Tomato paste can always be added into anything you like. I probably shouldn't be showing the brands on these, but I don't care. Cream of mushroom condensed soup. You know, I love mushrooms. I love fresh mushrooms. But we're humans. We don't have a lot. And it's good to have that little bit of soup lying around. I mean, you can spend money on all sorts of things. My favorite thing, popcorn. This is not a popcorn box, but this is popcorn that you put into your popcorn fryer and air fry it. For the cost of an air fryer, this much popcorn, you barely take more than a couple tablespoons. This will last years. And you can have nice snacks every night, relatively healthy, and it's the gift that keeps on giving. Horseradish, just something, I'm not sure where it came from. Ginger tea. Tea is a very important thing because when you drink a lot of water, like I do, flavoring is important. So I got my teas. I've got some powdered potato mix, which is just in case something happens. I like making fresh. But all this is just stuff I've built up over time. A couple extra bucks, I bought what I believe to be either mackerel or possibly it could be anchovies. Either way, I know what to do with it. Mushroom gravy, instant flavor, add it to potatoes, add it to anything you want. Yeast, there are so many uses for yeast. You can make your own wine with it. It won't be tasting very good. You can make bread. You can do 10,000 things with yeast. Beans. Oh my God. Where do I begin with the beans? We have beans all over the place. We have sprouting beans. We have beans that you can do anything with. Beans and rice is a complete protein. Pasta. Easy. You don't need to be a genius cook to cook pasta. Take this stuff. Really easy. Really nice little grains. I forget what it's called. It is called something I'm going to butcher in Italian. And all you need to do is take that, take a pot, take a little bit of flavoring, put it together, and in a matter of minutes, you have a nice pasta that you can put with anything else. Spices are the variety of life. You don't have to spend extra. This Himalayan sea salt from the dollar store, $2, lasts you for months. Chili seeds, ground mustard, all sorts of things. Just put aside because we don't really like these bags, but at the same token, we only have so many bottles to work with. Using that at any time, you can come up here, have a taste, and go, that needs a little bit of salt. Well, you have the salt like you saw. I'd like it a little bit more flavor to it. So you add some garlic, you add some turmeric, whatever you want. So you can make this, instead of this mixture of missing body parts, which it currently is, into something people actually enjoy. And this is how the great chefs make money. They don't just take the shrimp and throw this stuff away. They turn this stuff into something people will eat. If you're going to survive, you need to learn to do the same. The kitchen garden helps. Knowing how to cook stuff like this helps. And you know what? You don't even need to be a great cook. You just need to know soup is the world's simplest thing to make. Put stuff in water, boil it the lowest temperature possible, and it becomes food. So, basically, self-sufficiency is knowing what you have, which is very basic ingredients. I do have more, but I'm not going to touch them. And knowing what you can do with them. Soup is eternal. On a hot day, you can make a gazpacho. On a cold day, soup is always welcome. And then you can make other stuff besides that. So, again, self-sufficiency is just knowing what you can do with the simplest tools. We all don't have rack of lamb in our fridge. Much as I'd like it, we all don't have gourmet seasonings and spices. Look, it's just bottles of oil, soy sauce, a little bit of vinegar, maple syrup. Don't even have honey at the present time. Hey, cat food for the cats. Don't worry, I'm not going to eat that. The cats are. And this is all you need to get started. This bottle of grape juice. Simple, easily available, and you can build this up over time. Don't go out right away and spend $500 on stocking your shelves just when something's on sale. Like this vinegar is always pretty cheap. Pick up 2. It's 99 cents for one. Pick up 2. You're not going to miss it. But one day when you're not particularly wealthy, you're going to appreciate having that extra little bit. You saw I had the salad dressing. Well, my significant other bought extra, and it turns out she loves it. She absolutely loves it, so it worked out good for her. Supplements, I'm not fond of this one, but I think everybody needs to take some vitamin C and some omega-3 6/9s. And if you don't, that's okay. Go to a nutritionist and find out what you need in your diet, because being self-sufficient doesn't mean suffering. And then after that, just has very kind of knives that you're going to need to be able to cut open shrimp, steak, whatever it is you might get, because plain old chicken on the bone is pretty uninteresting. So with that, thank you all for tuning the Silverlight Show. And yes, outside I do have my barbecue and my oven. This keeps things warm when the barbecue gets too full, and yes, I do fill that up. But that's just part of being self-sufficient, knowing that you can have a little bit of a party when you want to. Once again, thank you for joining the Silverlight Show. Don't forget to buy the books, and I hope you all have a great day.